2015 paved way to some of the best smartphones that one probably could expect. The OnePlus X is not another flagship killer. Instead, OnePlus decided to take a break from the high-end profile and bring us a stunning mid-range capable of delivering on both looks and performance. Being the first of its kind, the OnePlus X makes a tribute to be the first hybrid smartphone to pack up the features of the most recent flagship killer, the OnePlus 2, on a crossover with the value of its predecessor, the OnePlus One. Anyways, it's time for us to find whether this smartphone is still worth buying. It's the same size and weight as the iPhone 6s. Even though being the successor of the OnePlus One, the OnePlus X doesn't bring much difference in its performance. But in accordance with the design, the OnePlus X gets a better compact look, with glass being laid out both on the front and the back of the smartphone, and thus helping out the OnePlus X look really great. But it does little bit for its durability. The biggest flaw that I felt on using this smartphone was to handle it. It's the same issue that I feel with any of the Xperia Z smartphones. Now talking about the hardware, there's a physical slider on the left of the device, as introduced on the OnePlus 2, for toggling between receiving all notifications, priority alerts, or none at all. Another neat and optional extra. It is hard not to like a company and an operating system that tries to enhance the user experience while retaining a respect for the user's own preferences. Even though there are two grills at the bottom flanking next to the micro USB port, only the left grill houses a single speaker unit that provides the audio squeed towards the high ends, which is a little unpleasant. Despite the speakers itself getting pretty loud, I would just suggest you to use a good pair of headphones that will just allow you for a much better audio experience. The OnePlus X features a 5-inch AMOLED display with a 1920 to 1080 resolution, resulting in a pixel density of 441 pixels per inch. 1080p allows for the right kind of display experience for a phone like this, with some punched up colors due to the black levels on AMOLED screen, which allows for a better experience. It is good that despite being an affordable device with small form factor, OnePlus didn't decide to bump the resolution down to 720p. Text is sharp enough for a 5-inch display while reading, and media looks really good. Brightness is also pretty high, and at the highest level, the white areas of the screen might actually be a little blinding even in normal light conditions. AMOLED is taken advantage by the OnePlus software with its ambient display feature that can be triggered by waving your hand over the proxy sensor, with a screen that just allows the minimal version of the lock screen for a quick glance at your notifications. The Oxygen OS theme is also set to dark mode by default, which is really nice to touch and allow for a better battery life, by keeping the AMOLED screen showing too many bright colors. On the software side of things, we have the return of the OnePlus built-in Oxygen OS, which brings a more stock-looking Android edition to the OnePlus X. Much of it's really familiar with a lollipop-inspired interface that includes the paginated app drawer and the quick settings menu. Under the hood, the OnePlus X comes with a quad-core Snapdragon 801 processor clocked at 2.3 GHz and backed with Adreno 330 GPU and 3 GB of RAM. This processor was a 2014 flagship standard and was also found with the OnePlus One, and helps make a case that last year's phones are certainly a viable option in the current smartphone space. With daily tasks like writing mails, listening to music, watching occasional videos and general web browsing, the OnePlus X doesn't skip a bit, and only when firing up a most recent graphical intense game is where you experience a slowdown. The one real pain point to this phone, which will be universal to all the users, is the camera. It holds a 13MP rear cam and 8MP front cam. It's not fast to launch, lacks optical image stabilization, and produces mediocre results. I could happily hand this phone to any non-techie family member, and trust me, they will enjoy using it, except for the camera. Everyone loves taking pictures, and I have seen too many people struggling with HTC Ones in the past to inflict a phone with a poor camera quality. The app is just fast enough, getting shots done in decent amount of time, but even in medium light situation, the camera offers slower shutter speed in order to compensate for exposure. Slower shutter speeds are of course not a bad thing as such, but it does making good results in low light condition very difficult. This actually becomes more of an issue with video capture, which gets a bit choppy more often and is one of the main flaws that was observed in the camera experience. As an alternate, trying to use the HDR in these scenarios just results in a brighter picture instead of a more vivid photo, which isn't ideal. The first major advantage of this smartphone is its price. It costs only around $250. The OnePlus X is definitely the type of phone I keep asking for. It strikes a great balance between size and screen real estate, remaining thin, light and extremely portable, while still accommodating a full 5-inch display. It just fits perfectly into my pocket, but which some smartphones like the LG V10 or Galaxy Note 5 can just dream of. I also like the fact that the OnePlus doesn't try to include features or specs outside its comfort zone. This is an uncomplicated phone with simple promises, good looks and great value for money. Most phones in this price range, such as the Moto G3, tends to lack design and making it look very unstylish. But this is not the case with the OnePlus X. The things that let down this device are its camera and certain missing features like the NFC and stereo speakers. Either way, thanks for watching. Yours truly Droid Sector, ours truly this life.